First, let's take a moment to remember outgoing RBA Governor Philip Lowe.
Hi, I'm Troy McClure. You may remember me from such educational films as 2 minus 3 equals negative fun.
And you may remember Lowe as the guy who delivered tons of negative fun to Aussie households. 12 times in 14 months, to be exact.
The Reserve Bank hiking the cash rate.
They are going to see their monthly repayments increase.
A rate not seen since April 2012.
Before that, he was the guy who said interest rates would remain low until at least 2024.
Don't kid yourself, Jimmy.
I'm certainly sorry if people listened to what we'd said and then acted on that, what we'd said, and now regret what they had done.
And when those rates started rising, he was the guy who told you to work more and spend less.
If people can cut back spending or in some cases find additional hours of work, that would put them back into a positive cash flow position.
Or, just get a flatmate.
We need more people on average to live in each dwelling.
I think you're crazy.
Want a second opinion?
But he was also the guy who steered us through the pandemic during a bumpy 7-year reign that he reportedly wasn't ready to end.
Phil Lowe goes with our respect, he goes with our gratitude, and he goes with dignity.
But end it has.
This morning the Cabinet has met and agreed that Michele Bullock be appointed as the 9th Reserve Bank Governor.
The PM today introducing Australia to our new governor in this definitely not awkward interaction. So who the hell is Michele Bullock? Well, for starters, the seasoned economist is the first woman to hold the top job.
This is a history-making appointment.
After close to 4 decades of service to the RBA, most recently as the Deputy Governor, Ms Bullock is eminently qualified.
Lowe's former right-hand woman being touted as the change the RBA needs after a recent government review roasting his leadership.
One of the things I really value in this appointment is the style and nature of her leadership.
The big question now on every Aussie homeowner's lips, will that change see the new Reserve Bank head stop raising those damn interest rates?
Don't do it.
Well, Stephen Hamilton is an ex-Treasury economist and is here to talk us through the new appointment. So, Stephen, out with the Lowe, in with the Bullock. Is this the right decision?
Yeah, if you can't come up with a good pun, those two names, you've got to get a different job, Hamish. So, look, I think it's an excellent. I think it's an excellent decision. Frankly, I mean, she is certainly the safe choice. I think among the alternatives. But really, I think she's the right choice. And I haven't heard from any commentators today that they're sort of disappointed with the decision.
Is Philip Lowe, though, being used as a bit of a scapegoat for the situation that we're in more broadly in the economy?
Yeah, it's really important that the government handles this kind of communication carefully. So Lowe isn't not being reappointed because interest rates are high, right? Any governor, no matter who they are, would have had interest rates as or higher than what they are now, and nothing's going to change under Bullock. I think that the issue with Lowe is more fundamental, and I think it certainly predates the pandemic. The recent review of the RBA was pretty clear that the RBA under his leadership just hasn't performed as highly as we should expect, and ultimately someone has to be accountable for that.
Hey, Stephen, the new governor was involved in every decision that the RBA made over the past 15 months. I guess what people do want to know is whether she'll make it easier for us to pay our mortgages. Judging by what you said then, though, maybe not.
Yeah, she's actually been in the RBA almost 40 years, right? So she's very much a creature of the RBA. And so, in that sense, it's not a super fresh break. But I do think in many respects, she's better placed than Lowe to perform. I think her communication style, her management style, I think is much better suited to the kind of fresh RBA that we hope to get after the review. Unfortunately, interest rates are going to stay where they are for some time. They may go a little higher, and the new governor's not going to make any difference to that.
Well, Ms Bullock is actually on the record saying that the unemployment rate will have to rise. The economy has to slow. So what do you make of that, and what does it mean for Aussies?
Yeah, so the thing that's been remarkable is despite the massive increase in interest rates, the labour market has stayed incredibly strong, right? We have the strongest jobs market in like 50 years. It's really remarkable. And Lowe and others like the Treasurer have been at pains to say, we really want to preserve those jobs. Now, the question is how low can, unemployment stay while slowing the economy? And that no one knows, right? So The US, I will say, where I am right now, they have been able to bring inflation down. Inflation here is almost 3%, which is the top of the target band. And unemployment is still at those kind of 50-year lows. So the hope is, that the interest rate increases we've done so far will be enough to slow the economy without big increases in job losses. We just think that maybe eventually, to cool the economy, maybe we need a slightly higher unemployment rate.
Stephen, some forecasters are saying that the RBA's official interest rate will be down to 3.1%, potentially by the end of next year. Is that realistic? What will we have to see in the economy for that to happen?
Janfram really wants it to be, I think. I think that's the point.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going to do a low and promise you that. But I would say that, interest rates in Australia are about a percentage point lower than in the US, for example. So they haven't gone anywhere near as far. And, the question, therefore, is, will they come down less slowly, right? I think, and the RBA has deliberately said that what they're looking for is a slower return to the target band of inflation, which could happen, in the next 1 to 2 years. So it could be the case that as rates start to decline elsewhere, rates here are still relatively high because we decided not to go quite as high early on.
Stephen, thanks for your time this evening.
Cheers.